Hello everybody and welcome back to the Healthy Orange Movie Reviews. I'm your host, Bennett Campbell Ferguson. I'm here with Patrick Bellin and Mo Shamat, and we are now in the second installment in our series that focuses on directors. Today we're talking about Tim Burton, or as the production designer Dante Ferretti pronounced his name at the Oscars in 2008, Tim Burton. But that's another story. So I want to delve into some of his specific films. I just want to start by asking you guys, what is your relationship to Tim Burton's movies been like over the years? Like, do you consider yourself a fan or more of a casual viewer? What are your thoughts on that?
I'd say somewhere in between those two. Like I grew up in the 90s, so Tim Burton was sort of everywhere. So Batman and Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Before Christmas, those were movies that everyone of my generation knew. And as you get older, you do see the through line of them. You see the connective tissue between them, and then once Burton got real mainstream success, like when he was doing, he already had that, but when he was an A-lister, a name above the title credits, his works sort of got more inconsistent, I would say. It's some of the charm was taken out of them, but I still like him. I still think he does interesting stories. He's the only person like him in the market, and I like his stuff, most of his stuff.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty interesting style, but for me, over the years, he's done so many different kind of movies. He's done like really just small, really personal films, and then he's gone on and done these blockbusters. But overall, he's just too hit and miss for me that I would like to love him, but I don't necessarily love him as a director. But he is a pretty unique director in his style, though. I think, in terms of the Tim Burton style of directing, I can't help but want to refer to Sweeney Todd. I would say that's his best one for that style. Mm. But then you also have these movies like Big Fish, and then there's that recent one that I didn't see, the Big Eyes one. Mm-hmm.
All the big movies.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what to make of him, considering that he's just kind of all over the place.
I feel like, that's his fourth film, so it's pretty early on, but I feel like it's one of the most Burtonian films he's ever made.
Almost definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I'm interested to hear from you guys. What do you think are some of the main qualities that, either in terms of the images or the ideas or the story, that were cemented in that movie and just continue to persist from there on out?
Well, it's like I said, it's the misfit among weirdos. That's definitely there, because the way he draws suburbia as sort of superficial, really shallow, really self-involved, and they're not all bad. They're just confused, basically. And then Edward, who's the misfit, who doesn't understand why they are the way they are, and just tries his best to go along with it. But in terms of style, you have a lot of black,
Yes.
like the picturesque suburbia Burbank where he grew up is pastel colors. It's all the same. It's little boxes on the hillside, and then seemingly this sort of makes me laugh. Just that it's normal suburbia, and then there's the Gothic castle, just right down the road. There's Xanadu Manor from Citizen Kane, overlooking them all.
There's an interesting allusion.
Yeah, it's just black and gray and gloomy and weird and looks like a horror movie.
You get the sense that he likes that better.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's much more at home.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, can we agree that he's a goth kid at heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Brings
yeah.
it to
He is
all
the
of his
voice of
movies.
goth kids.
Oh,
the
yeah,
world over.
sure.
Well, he was. I don't know if he is anymore after Alice in Wonderland.
So I guess a signature is not just highlighting like the misfit of among weirdos. It's it's kind of putting down mainstream culture and highlighting people or character types that don't fit in with it. So
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's probably a lot of his following, right? That
Yeah.
I would
And that strikes a
imagine
chord. Because at some point in their life, everyone has felt like that sort of misfit. That it's someone who does not fit in. You know, the
Yeah.
square peg in the round hole.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that like with like he seems very pessimistic about society's ability to, you know, accept those kinds of misfits, you know. I mean, you look at Edward Scissorhands, you know, at the end, he's exiled back to that house, you know, on the hill. You know, he can't be a part of society because the society we've seen in that movie is this core of, you know, narrow-minded, even really violent people.
Mm.
And so it's I don't know, he seems like, do you guys
No, I certainly see that too, but this goes back to my comment earlier about his inconsistencies, where he does movies that are not as Tim Burton, but the studio still saw it as Tim Burton movies anyways. But and then there are some of his films where he really does touch on certain themes more than others.
for sure, yeah.
And that's why it's been a little difficult for me to get a real to really wrap my mind around his entire body of work.